Hello, and welcome to Spoiler Piece Theater, the podcast that doesn't give a shit about spoilers. We just want to talk about the movies. My name is Evan Crean. My pronouns are he, him. I am co-chair of the Boston Online Film Critics Association, co-author of your 80s Movie Guide to Better Living, and co-host of the It's a Pictures podcast.
And I'm Dave Riedel. I am a he, him. What am I, Evan? I'm a member of the Boston Online Film Critics Association.
Yes.
And I yap about movies.
Yes.
I used to write about them, but now I yap.
Now you yap.
Mm-hmm.
In this and maybe other places. We'll see.
Right. Well, I recorded an episode yesterday. Now, depending on how long it takes me to get a full tranche of guests, I don't know, but it'll be coming eventually.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. I guess we'll start with over on our Patreon this week. We are talking about the 2007 film Before the Devil Knows You're Dead with Ethan Hawke and Philip Seymour Hoffman, Marissa Tomei and Albert Finney. And yeah, we had a fun conversation about that. So if you're a patron, check that out. And if you're not, please consider joining for $5 a month. You get weekly bonus episodes like that one. You also get to vote monthly polls. And I think we have a lot of fun. And while I'm at it, I'll say thank you to our sponsor piece patron, Heather Sachs. Heather, thank you for your support.
Thank you, Heather.
Moving on, we have one movie that we're going to be talking about this week in the main show. It's a big one. It's a sequel, long time in the making.
A sequel? Oh, no.
It's The Devil Wears Prada 2. Yes.
The devil still wears Prada, you might say.
Yes, The Devil Still Wears Prada. And it's directed by David Frankel, who I believe directed the first one. Written by Aileen Brosh McKenna, who I believe also wrote the first one.
Yes.
And of course, it features Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, Stanley Tucci, the core from the first movie. They're back.
The core four.
Yep. And we throw some... and Tracy Toms is back as well. She was in the first one.
Except didn't she, like the last time we saw her in the first one, she had a big falling out with Andy, right? There was no scene after that, was there?
I don't remember if they became friends again. Well, obviously they didn't. But I think that's kind of funny that they brought her back.
No Rich Summer? I mean...
We got some new players in the game. We got Kenneth Branagh, Lucy Liu, also BJ Novak, and Rachel Bloom in a small part. Justin Theroux is in this. And so I'll do the IMDb summary, and I guess we'll dig right in. Mm-hmm. As Miranda Priestley nears retirement, she reunites with Andy Sachs to face off against her former assistant turned rival, Emily Charlton. Weird. It's a weird plot summary. I mean, the movie
and not really accurate either.
No, it's not. So we have. Let me do my summary of this. So Anne Hathaway, Andy Sachs. We see her at the beginning of the movie. She's winning an award for her journalistic work. She's still at the New York Guardian, which is the paper that she was going to go work at the end of Devil Wears Prada. She's been working there for 20 years. She has an amazing reputation. She's getting this award. They're all getting these awards. And then womp womp, they find out that they're laid off and the paper is closing. So she's like, shit, I need a job. I don't know what to do. And then in the meantime, at the same time, over at Runway, Miranda Priestley and her crew are in trouble because they ran a story on fast fashion that they didn't properly vet. And so now they got egg on their face and everyone's calling their credibility into question. And, the publisher, I forget the actor's name who plays the publisher, the same guy from the first movie.
Yeah.
And his son, BJ Novak, his second in command, they are like, crap, we need help fast. We need to restore credibility. And so they are like, oh, they see, Andy is given this fiery speech about the media and the disappearing and commodification of media companies and this and that, and so they're like, oh hey, this is interesting, why don't we hire her, she's great. And so she's back. She comes back to Runway and reunites with Stanley Tucci and Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep is like, who are you again? She pretends not to know her. I don't believe that for a second. Did you? That she didn't remember?
No,
her?
I didn't believe
Yeah, I
that.
knew it was all an act.
I think
So
that I think she remembers everyone she's ever met ever.
Yeah, I got that impression too. So she pretends not to know Andy, and she's like a dick to her. Where they're like, we got to go appease our biggest advertiser now. And so they have to go to Emily Blunt, who is one of the people over at Dior. And because they're like the biggest advertiser with the magazine, and they were able to like negotiate some exclusive coverage and this and that. And by negotiate, I mean extort. That's fine. But yeah, so I mean, the things get set in motion. So Andy is there. She's trying to write these respectable stories, and it seems like public sentiment is good, but like no one's really reading them. It's not really getting the traction that they're looking for. So there's a little bit of that going on. Dave, what else is happening in this movie? It seems like
they land an interview with Lucy Liu, who
Right.
This is supposed to be Jeff Bezos and I can't remember his ex-wife's name, but the one who's giving all of his money away.
Yeah. What's her name? God, why am I blanking on her name?
Well, Bezos, but before that, yeah, I don't remember her name, but anyway, that's who Lucy Liu is playing, and Justin Theroux is doing. I mean, he's not doing Jeff Bezos, but he's doing Jeff Bezos, the Jeff Bezos mindset for sure.
Yeah, he's doing a kind of amalgamation of shitty billionaire guys who are terrible to their wives.
Right.
And have terrible ideas about what to do with all of their money.
I know there's even a gag in that. He's like, what's he going to do? He's going to send people to space, and kind of making fun of Jeff Bezos for that. But then he does that. But then he's going to buy, a $1 billion property for his girlfriend, Emily Blunt. I mean,
that's right. Yeah. So let's see. Okay. So the publisher of the magazine drops dead.
Mm-hmm.
And BJ Novak is now in charge, and everyone's making fun of him because he wears like, leisure athletic clothes and doesn't care about fashion. And so he wants to make all these budget cuts to the magazine. He's slashing their budgets. They have to like fly coach to Milan for this big event that they're doing. And
hold on 1 second. Fly coach to Milan, but then she has the world's biggest hotel suite. That doesn't make sense to me, Evan.
I got the sense that she probably paid for that herself.
Oh, okay. It could be.
Because, I mean, there was kind of a throwaway line where she's like, well, you got the big suite still. And she's like, is it the big suite? I kind of downsized or whatever. But I also got the sense that she's like, fuck it, I'm paying for my own room if I'm not gonna like stay in some shithole.
That could be. Yeah. I hadn't thought about that.
But yeah, so they're like, oh crap, he's ruining the magazine. He's going to kick out, Miranda. And so like Andy talks to Emily, and they like hatch this plan like, oh, let's have Benji, Justin Theroux's character, buy the magazine. And then we can just have a carte blanche to do whatever we want because he's a fucking billionaire and he's not going to give a shit what we do with it.
Yeah.
But then that turns out it's basically just a hostile takeover attempt where Emily is going to take over and kick Miranda to the curb. And so like, oh, fuck, well, we can't have that because like Emily can't take over. She doesn't know what the fuck she's doing.
Yeah.
And so they end up...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that apparently Emily's been holding on to this grudge for 20 years, that Miranda, you pushed me out. And
yeah.
And then Miranda says, you're not a trendsetter, you're a vendor. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's harsh.
Yeah.
It's harsh.
Yeah.
So then they end up convincing Lucy Liu to buy the publication, and then she will give them carte blanche to do wherever they want because she's like, you do great work. I want to be your patron. I want this magazine to continue to succeed under Miranda's leadership. And so it kind of all comes together, like Andy and Miranda like kicking ass and taking names, and Stanley Tucci is still there doing his thing. Mm-hmm. And then the end of the movie is kind of like Andy and Emily like meeting up for lunch and hanging out and being like, hey, like, let's let bygones be bygones. And like, I always thought we could be friends. Why don't we be friends? Isn't this nice?
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how much I bought that, but I mean, clearly Andy has no integrity. So, That's not entirely true, but
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
anyway, anything else you feel like I should mention plot wise?
I think you got all the big stuff. Part of the reason that Andy knows everything is coming down the pike the way it is because her assistant intentionally drops her cell phone under this ambush meeting that Miranda is attending.
That's
And
right.
so then they learn everything that's going on. I kind of can't believe that worked either, but okay, sure.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention there is a romance in this.
Oh, right.
She meets this guy who's like a developer, contractor, construction guy who's like redone these luxury apartments that she goes to look at. And first she insults them and then ends up having a conversation with him. He's Australian because, of course, you got to have romance with a guy with an accent, right? That's how you do it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of disposable. Honestly, I think you could excise the entire thing from the movie and it would feel lighter, and I don't think it would be a problem.
Well, especially when it ends with the whole thing about Miranda saying, "But I love my work," which is like kind of the one thing she and Andy actually have in common is they both love their jobs.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I was kind of thinking for a little while because they didn't have the love interest comes later in the movie. I was kind of thinking they're not even going to go there, and I was really enjoying that idea that it was just going to be like we're not even concerned with that. We're just interested in what's going on with these characters that we already know.
Mm.
And then that cropped up, and I was like, I get why they feel like they have to do this, but they really don't think they have to, and it really does not, to me, matter at all to the plot or feel like it needs to be there. At least in the first one, it kind of had the like push and pull of like, okay, Adrian Grenier, he's not approving of her work, and they've been together for a while, so like, is that going to hold together? And then Simon Baker, this like hotshot writer guy who she sleeps with, and then he is sneaking around and he's gonna try and like get in at the magazine too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
so what'd you think?
I mean, it's fine. There are some things about it. It's kind of interesting that the whole movie hinges on the linchpin of the story is that journalism is dying and they need to do something. Mm-hmm. Yet but the movie is still trying to sell you the movie itself, not the story, but the movie is still trying to sell you the glamour and the beauty of, having enough money to buy this shit. Even though Andy, says to, what's Emily Blunt? It just says to Emily Blunt.
Emily. Her character's name is Emily.
Just says to her, it's like, oh, it's great if people have, $3,000 to buy a bag. And Emily Blunt says, have you ever heard of Christmas? So yeah, haha.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, it's kind of a strange line that this movie is walking. It's like, it knows what it is. It knows it has to sell you on the dream of, the fashion and the power and all of that stuff. But it's also taking like a very serious real life thing about the state of journalism in 2026 and trying to make a serious point out of that, but also trying to, I don't want to use the phrase, have your cake and eat it too, because that's not what the phrase was anyway. But yeah, it's a strange thing in the screenplay that this movie is of two minds about that.
Yeah, I agree, because in the beginning it's like, okay, well, journalism is dying, and so she has to go work. She's going to go work for the magazine, but the magazine still somehow manages to pay her enough to go to this, have this like luxury apartment. But even though the people in the meetings are like, it's not really even a magazine anymore. Like, the magazine is really for show. It's like the online, publication that people really care about. So it's like, how much money are they even really making at the magazine anymore? But still, they somehow have like gajillions of dollars to have this like really fancy office and all of the fashions and things, but they're also scaling back like their shoots and things. I don't know. It's very confusing. And then the movie kind of stumbles into the like, with the Justin Theroux, he's like, oh, maybe we'll just use AI for everything, and maybe we're not even gonna have models or places or things like that. And Like, okay, well, that's like an obvious and dumb way to go. And then it's, really stupid that the publisher like drops dead of a heart attack suddenly.
Yeah, that
So,
was
like, there
stupid.
could have been so many more interesting directions to go with it. Like, even if it's just like the son is just naturally taking over anyway, and like he just doesn't have the same like vision for it, or maybe like he has some insane ideas for things that he wants to do with the publication, or even if Justin Theroux
just
had
does a
crazy
hostile
ideas.
takeover,
Or even if he just had crazy ideas, like not even that he wants to make AI slop, but maybe he's just like, I have insane ideas for what I want this magazine to be. Like, billionaires, they have fucking stupid, insane ideas and things they want to do. He could have literally had like any other idea for what to do other than, well, maybe we'll just turn it into AI slop.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
What did you like about it?
So I like that this movie, because it has a budget, it can spend more time with like the glamour and the fashion. And I feel like that's very obvious in the like kind of back part of the movie where they're spending their time in Milan and kind of reveling in the glamour and the fashion of like Italy.
Yeah.
I really like anytime we get the Anne Hathaway Meryl Streep dynamic, or the Anne Hathaway Stanley Tucci dynamic, or the Anne Hathaway Emily Blunt. I think when the core characters are back together, I really like those scenes. I think they have a good rapport and familiarity. I especially like the scenes between her and Stanley Tucci, and he's just such a terrific character actor, and he's so willing to play like thankless supporting parts where I feel like he wrings every last drop he can get out of that supporting performance.
Yeah, and without being too showy,
just without like chewing the scenery, chewing the scenery. And that's what I respect him so much for that. And I feel like this is one of those like prime examples of like what a value add he is when he shows up.
Yeah,
to work. So I really love those. I love the rapport between those two characters, that he's always had this love for her. He's always been rooting for her, but he doesn't treat her with kid gloves, which is what I love about it. He still makes like the sassy remarks to her, or like when she's like sad that she didn't get like an attaboy at the meeting after she wrote that first article. And he's like, but did it do anything? Like, did it perform? And she's like, no. And he's like, well, then what are you expecting? A lollipop or whatever?
Yeah.
And so I always like that about him. But I also love that you mentioned, we talked about this off mic, you find out at the very end of the movie that he's the one who made the call to the publisher to suggest, or the text or whatever it was. He was the one who said, you should hire her. And so that even though they haven't seen each other in like 20 fucking years, like he still cares about her. He's still got like a kind of special place in his heart for her. And I thought that was like really nice.
And he knew her well enough to know that, yes, if anybody could pull this off, she could pull it off.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting.
I thought that was very sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very sweet. I liked their scenes together. I feel like now I'm just going into complaint department again, but a couple things that are coming to mind, and I want to say them before I forget them. One of the things that I liked about the first movie is I feel like Miranda and Meryl Streep, I feel like she's very restrained in a way. And like, I was kind of surprised because, the first one has this reputation of like, oh, she's a horrible boss. And then when I finally saw it, it's a lot more restrained than I expected. And she like really reins it in a lot in that performance. And I feel like this one loses the subtlety of that and goes for more of like the, she's making like offhand comments in meetings, and her like assistant has to like PC police her like wording and stuff, which is kind of funny. Or like there's that scene where you find out she has to hang up her own coat now, which she didn't. She was always like, there was that gag where she was always throwing her coat on the desk, and she looks exhausted from hanging up her coat.
Yeah.
But I feel like some of that subtlety is lost. And in the first one, you like very late scene, you get to see her like kind of open up and be vulnerable in a way that was remarkable because she spent so much in the movie being so steely. And in this, I feel like there's like multiple times where she's like being vulnerable. So it doesn't feel like it's as meaningful when we get to that conversation that you were talking about, Dave, where she's like, well, I love my career. I've like had to pay the price for that. Like, I don't really know my kids that well, but like I've loved the work. And I feel like that would have been a little bit more impactful if it felt like she was kind of like holding back for more of the movie until we got to that part. And then she could be like more vulnerable. And she's like, yeah, you know, Andy, I know you're trying to write a book about me or you've pitched it some places. And I want you to go ahead and write it and leave the messy shit in there.
Yeah. Yeah, what I didn't like about this movie was the overall cuteness of it. Like there's this whole veneer over the whole thing of we got the gang back together. Isn't this great? And yes, just let them be the gang back together. You don't have to like keep telling us every other scene how delightful it is that we're watching the same fucking movie that you made. We get it. You know? They don't make legacy sequels because the first movie was shit. I swear to God, the choices these fucking people make.
Yeah.
And I also didn't like that Miranda she's more humanized in this. And
right.
It's very similar to what you were saying. It's just like she, you know, the first one, she's so steely and her remarks were so cutting. And while I do agree that in the meeting where her assistant is PC policing her, and I can't remember what she says leading into it, but she says, I said I was going to kill myself, not kill anybody else. I was like, that's a pretty good gag, you know? But it didn't, there was just too much stuff like that, you know, when she's like all happy at the summer home in the Hamptons that she's going to get the big job. It's like, I don't think Miranda would really gloat about that. She's not gloating. She's only telling Andy, and Andy knew that it was in the works anyway. But it just feels, it doesn't feel true to her character. Andy's character feels very much the same. Not the same in the sense that she's not grown, but her principles are still the same. Whereas Miranda, it's like you softened her up because of the age and because you want people to like Meryl Streep more, you know? It's like, even though she's played by Meryl Streep, Miranda's really hard to like, you know? And they tried to make her likable in this. It's just like, why would you do that? Just let her be a fucking asshole, you know? Yeah. She does half of that stuff anyway. And if you need to have Amari, her assistant, alongside her the whole time, policing her, well, then that could be the gag, you know, the running gag. I don't know.
Yeah. They kind of do it a little bit with BJ Novak too, when he calls everyone guys and he's like, oh, sorry, people, you people.
Yeah. I just kind of feel like they had this is a hard, how are you going to make a story out of this 20 years later? And they chose the right in with the death of journalism.
Yeah, I think they did too. I think it was good grounds for them to get back together, and an excuse for these characters to be around each other again.
Yeah, but then they sort of up the cuteness factor. And so every time you have something sort of real taking place, which is, you know, we had our Jason Blair moment where, you know, our reporter didn't, you know, do X, Y, and Z. And so now we've got you know, every time that they have a good inclination like that, they sort of cut it with something like, you know, like the Pillsbury Doughboy is getting tickled. I guess that's what that hee was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poppin' fresh. So, yeah. So in that way, it's like, it's kind of how the same way I feel about Ghostbusters 2. It's just like, why did you make it so cute? I mean, I know that Harold Ramis has said erroneously that the first Ghostbusters is a kid's movie, but like the second one is like a 7-year-old kid's movie. It's stupid.
It is.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, these are not the whole Do-Ray Egon thing. I remember seeing that. I was like 15 years old and being like, I want to kill everyone who made this movie.
Yeah.
And with this, it's not nearly as egregious, but it is just kind of like, guys, just let them do their thing. I do like that they let Emily be Emily. She's still very much the same sort of brittle, you know, cutting, with a secret heart of gold, just like in the first one, you know, so that works.
That definitely works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think this movie unfortunately is a mixed bag. Like there's some good choices. There's some bad choices. Good reason for them to be back together. bad choices around some of the characters, some of the plot points. I mean, I think one of the things that was kind of under my skin was, so in the first one, it's like you kind of see her falling in love with the world of fashion and like enjoying the work, even though she's been kind of like poo-pooing it.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one, she kind of jumps back into the world, but you don't really see her getting to fall in love with it again. She's just kind of doing it for the sake of doing it. And like, there's that whole bit about her thinking like, oh, well, maybe this job will be a stepping stone for me, which was like the whole thing in the first one when she's like, this job will be a stepping stone for me. Like, it's 20 years later. You're working at this publication. You're getting like a fat fucking paycheck and you're head of a features department. Like, what are you using it as a stepping stone toward? That feels weird to me.
Yeah, the only thing left after that is like editor-in-chief, really. So,
So it just seems odd to me that we're back to the same like plot point again of her using it as a stepping stone instead of just seeing her falling in love with the world of fashion and enjoying the work for what it is. Like, it just does not make logical sense to me.
Yeah. By the way, go ahead.
I was going to say one of the other things when we were walking on the movie, and Shauna reminded me that no one in the movie says that's all, and they leave room for it at the end when Anne Hathaway is like there in Meryl Streep's office wearing her same like cerulean like sweater. Similar outfit.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yes.
Yeah, they leave room for someone to say that's all, and they don't.
Yeah.
Like, why?
This is the same way I feel like they made a mistake at, I'm coming back to The Last of Us, Evan. The first game ends with the word okay spoken by Ellie. The second game should have ended with okay spoken by Joel when they have that heart to heart at the end in the flashback. When she says, I'll see you tomorrow, and he could have just said, okay. And that would have been it.
Yeah, it would have been nice. I'm not saying like I understand how fan service can be annoying, but I feel like that
sometimes it can work.
Sometimes it can work, and this time I agree it would have worked.
Yeah. Whereas this whole movie just sort of feels like tying a real issue, death of journalism, tying a real issue into fan service, which is the Devil Wears Prada itself. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the first one. I think it's fine. I think that I gave it 3 stars out of 5 on Letterboxd, and this one I would give 2.5. It's just so bizarre. It's like, it's inoffensive, although I should be offended that a $150 million movie exists to send me 2 different messages about oh, things are so terrible, but we have the money to make the movie to tell you that it's so terrible. So bizarre. So bizarre. But I like Anne Hathaway, and I like Meryl Streep, and I like Stanley Tucci, and I like Emily Blunt. So,
it's great to see them all back together, see their characters together in moments, and like feels like they're kind of at some points picking up where they left off, and in other ways kind of like resolving things and moving forward, which is nice. Like, it's nice to see characters grow and change and move in a positive direction.
By the way, this is what I mean when I'm talking about the cuteness of Miranda. When she goes to Stanley Tucci and she says to him, have I taken you for granted? No, I don't believe that for a minute. I think that if she really decided, there would be no admission of culpability in her treating him like shit. She just would have said, I can't give the speech tonight. You'll have to do it. And that would have been the end of it.
That would have made more sense to me. Like, she could have, what they could have done as a character choice is to have Meryl Streep recognize in her face that she's been taking him for granted, and then say what you said, which is what would feel appropriate to the character, is to say, now you give the speech. And that's something else we talked about after the movie. We were saying that, like, he has to give this speech in Milan, and she's like, you give it, the speech, you wrote it. And then he goes up there and he fucking fumbles the speech. He's like reading off the note cards and doing like a shit job.
I know. It was such a bizarre choice.
Yeah. Like, they couldn't have gotten a better take of him doing the speech. That just like, and if they were happy with him fumbling, why would he be fumbling? He's supposed to be like this poised, prepared guy, and also why is he wearing this nasty brown blazer at this like very fashionable event?
Yeah. It's like we were saying, strange choices.
Yeah, odd choices in this movie.
Yeah. I don't know what I thought I was getting into. I was actually kind of looking forward to it.
Mhm.
And it's not like I watched it and, like it's ruined like my week or whatever. But
No.
when we walked out and we were talking to the rep afterward and she said, "What do you think?" And I was just kind of like, it's fine. She actually thought that was pretty funny. I can't be the first person who told her that, is what I'm guessing. I don't know. It's just a missed opportunity. It's like when they brought back Sex in the City, but they made the movie. It's like, but the movie is shit. I wasn't a huge fan of the series, but it definitely had its moments, where you'd be like, that's funny, or, oh yes, I relate. Whereas the movie is just like, we're rich and one of us got, like left at the altar. Let's go to Mexico and Charlotte will get diarrhea. It's just like, what the fuck is this?
Right. Yeah. Well, we've talked about this many times on the show. It's more frustrating sometimes when you see something and you see how with some small changes it could go from being, mediocre to being really great. It's more frustrating than something like that's just straight up bad all around, and they were swinging for the fences and they failed. Like spectacularly. They tried really hard, but they just didn't have what it took.
Yeah.
You're like, I know you could do better than this. That's more frustrating.
It's kind of like, that's how you end up with movies by Ed Wood, right? It's like you got this guy who's just like full of optimism and making great movies, but he's talentless. And I sort of feel like that's kind of what happens with stuff like this. It's not that these people are talentless, but they're using their talents not to the best of their ability. Yeah.
This movie is slow too, by the way. I felt like it had some really good energy in the beginning. It was kind of coming out like, oh, we got some like peppy music, we got some peppy editing. It's New York City, we're feeling the like vibe and energy of the city. And then at a certain point, I looked down at my watch and it was an hour and a half into the movie, and I was like, oh God. And then like the movie finished and it was like almost 2 hours, and I'm like, why did I sit here for another half hour? This is so slow.
Yeah. And it's not like the first one was short. It's like around an hour 50. But it does move more briskly.
Yeah.
But it has more to do. It's like, of course this movie is going to be the Battle of the Billionaires. I don't know, Evan. I'm just kind of talking in circles now. So
I thought it was a fun choice to make Justin Theroux like make him look nerdier and like more twerpy and awkward.
Yeah,
because he often plays like the like kind of handsome, smug guy.
right, which he's very good at doing.
Yes.
My favorite role of him being the handsome, smug guy, of course, is in Mulholland Drive, where he's also just a loon.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that one.
Yeah. I feel like, doesn't he throw something at somebody and then like run away from them? I don't know.
I liked the new assistant, Amari. I like that the actor and that performance. I thought she was really great when she was on screen.
I've seen her in things, but I couldn't tell you what. And I liked Andy's assistant. I think she was just the right amount of kooky.
Yes. Yeah, she was good. I also like that the other assistant was a guy this time. I thought that was a fun choice.
I did like the gag too. He's like, can I use the bathroom? I had a venti. And Amari says, and was it worth it? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well.
I thought Kenneth Branagh was good in his couple of scenes. I was actually kind of like happy that Miranda, as a character, found a husband that
a good husband
that's stuck this time and respects her work and respects her and doesn't have some unrealistic expectation of who she is or what their relationship is going to be.
Yeah, I like seeing movies like that, relationships like that in movies, because you've got this husband who is completely supportive, but is also his own person because he's like a violinist in a famous quartet, which is not the best miming violin play I've ever seen, Kenneth Branagh, but okay. And I like that he's got a lot of humor to he's like, oh, this would be a perfect time to take the unruly dogs out, you know?
Yeah.
So, and yeah, just good stuff like that. But also, you know, Kenneth Branagh just has so much charisma. Of course, he's going to be, they would have to put him in something like that. And you've got too many characters in this movie being duplicitous for him to also like leave her for like the young assistant or whatever.
To be a scumbag. Yeah. I like that he's a grounding force in this. And I like
too.
When he shows up, and it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's a thankless performance, but it's like he's barely in it, but he makes the most of his couple of scenes.
Yeah. Kenneth Branagh definitely knows how to, for lack of a better term, milk it. Yeah, milking it seems like it's like a derogatory thing, but in this way, I don't mean it in a derogatory way.
No, it's a positive when he shows up. So that was something I was like pleasantly surprised by. I don't think I knew that he was in this. And when I saw he was in it, I was like, wonder who he's going to be. Oh, okay, he's just her husband. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Oh, here's something that really bothered me, and you're probably going to think I'm crazy. You remember how Stanley Tucci, Andy wants to take that dress that's like too outrageous or whatever to the Hamptons, and he's like, not even a hint of a stain. And then she gets something on it, and she treats the stain, but then we never hear about it again. It would have been amazing if that was like the last scene of the movie where he's like, Andy, we have to talk. And he just holds up the dress.
Yeah, no, it's funny you said that, because I was kind of thinking like things in my head like that I wanted to say before we like wrapped up our conversation, and that one literally just boiled back up to the top. Like, yeah, we never saw what happened with the stain, because he's like, not even a hint of a stain. Like they linger on it so much, and then it's like she's trying to be careful, she somehow gets the stain, but we never see what happens after that. And I would have liked, even if, like you said, it was a brief moment at the end. Like a brief nod to the fact that she fucking got a stain on the dress she really wasn't supposed to get a stain on.
And I also didn't think the dress was so outrageous that she couldn't have worn it to the Hamptons. I mean, one, she looked great.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Does Anne Hathaway do I look bad? I don't think so. So,
well, no. And it's just funny too that Emily makes that comment about her eyebrows. And it's like, she's like, is something wrong with my eyebrows? She's like, yeah, well, I'll take you to a place. Yeah. It's like, she doesn't have bad eyebrows. They're just looking for reasons to pick on her.
I know the whole idea that Anne Hathaway would be somebody who looks like her, that people would say things like she's frumpy or she has bad eyebrows or something. It's hilarious,
Well, I mean, one of her early roles was getting a makeover in The Princess Diaries, right?
Indeed, it was.
They had to make her look nerdy and frumpy in that too.
Yeah, but basically, didn't they like straighten her hair and take off her glasses in that, and then she was hot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A classic she's all that treatment.
Exactly. Yeah. Did you ever see, I'm sure you saw it on another teen movie.
I don't think I've actually seen that one.
Oh, well, it's not good, but it does have the whole thing. A lot of it that they're sending up is She's All That, but it's a ton of other movies too. But Chris Evans, it was his first movie, I think, and he's the lead. And they're like, we want you to take out this girl. And he's like, oh, no, but she wears glasses. She has a ponytail. So, yeah, it's dumb, but it's like, yes, all of those movies have that thing, so.
Yeah.
Anyway. Any spray.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Didn't like Devil Wears Prada too. I don't think I didn't go in with like any real expectations. I just assume often when it's a legacy sequel like this that it's gonna be terrible. I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't terrible. I just wish it was better.
Right. I agree. I mean, I'll never, like, I don't need to watch this movie again, but I'm also not
right.
There's no like, I can't believe I watched The Devil Wears Prada 2. God damn it.
Right.
Although I may feel that way about the third one if they make one.
Yeah, it's not gonna be. It's like, okay, let's say hypothetical, my daughter gets older at some point, and it's like, I want to see Devil Wears Prada, and okay, great, we watch it. Like, oh, let's watch the second one. Sure, fine. I wouldn't be like, oh god, I've got to watch this shit again.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, who was Rachel Bloom? Was she the friend that Andy was pitching the book to?
Yes, she was the publisher friend, or literary agent or whatever. It wasn't really clear. Just she worked for a publisher, I feel like, but she was like not one of the high up people there.
Yeah. Well, Aileen Brosh McKenna, the screenwriter, wrote
Yeah.
Crazy Ex-Girlfriend with her. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very funny show.
I have never seen it, and I never will.
Oh, well, I know you don't like musicals, so that's probably not a selling point for you.
I was actually looking for it. I was like, oh, this show looks kind of cool, because I worked at a CW affiliate at the time when it was new. And I was like, oh, this will be fun. And then I saw, like the trailers come in from the West Coast, and you're watching it, and I was like, oh, it's a musical. Oh, no. So, yeah, never.
Well, there was one gag in the show that I keep coming back to. There's a character named Nathaniel who's like a world-class jerk when you first meet him, and then later on he decides to turn over a new leaf. And so like there are times where he'll just be like, I'm nice now. Like he'll say it very aggressively, like, I'm nice now.
That is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Who plays him?
Oh God, I forget the actor's name. He's tall, blonde. Now I'm gonna have to look this up because it's quite funny.
It's there's a guy on. I think he was on that show. His name's Danny Jollis. He's a stand-up comedian, and he's a really fucking good comedian. I've actually seen him live. So, but anyway, do we have any more Devil Wears Prada 2 tea to spill? Or as Ted would call it, the Devil Wears Prada poo. Because he's 7.
Scott Michael Foster, that's the actor's name.
Okay. I don't know who that is.
Quite funny. Yeah, you might recognize him if you saw a picture of him. But yeah, anyway, I don't think I have more to add about Devil Wears Prada 2. I mean, okay. I think I imagine the people. I don't think that I would say see it, but I also wouldn't be like, if you really want to go see it, I wouldn't be like discouraging somebody from seeing it, because I could tell it's one of those movies you're gonna want to go see. You like the first one, you're gonna want to go see the second one.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree.
Maybe don't go to the theater to see it.
Yeah, just wait until it comes to whatever the fuck it comes to, whichever screening service. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that wraps up this episode of Spoiler Piece Theater. So I will say thank you to our editor, Otto Clammer. Otto, thank you for making it sound so great week after week.
Thank you, Otto.
You can find the show anywhere you get podcasts. You also have a website, spoilerpiece.com, and we have merch. We have a TeePublic store, so you can buy stuff with our logo on it. Wide variety of items: t-shirts, mugs, notebooks. You can even get a pillow, Spoiler Piece pillow.
You know what we don't have?
What?
We should have a button that has the logo on it, and underneath it just, or maybe above it, somewhere on the button, maybe on the circle, it says "fuck this movie."
I like it.
Not the Devil Wears Prada 2, but whatever movie. Yeah.
No, dude, just wear this fuck this movie button.
Exactly. Yeah, one of my favorite reviews I ever wrote ended with TLDR, fuck this movie. So.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So let's see, where did I leave off? You can find us on social media. We're Spoiler Piece Theater or at Spoiler Piece in some of those locations. Not going to list them. You can find us, see if we're there on those platforms. And if you want to get in touch with us, you can send us an email, spoilerpiece@gmail.com. You can also rate and review us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you want to leave a nice rating or review. You can go to ratethispodcast.com/spoilerpiece. And we very much appreciate those ratings and reviews. Or you can just tell a friend. Either way, that's nice.
Yeah, and if you don't tell a friend, sit and spin. I mean, don't do that. I've rediscovered that phrase in the last couple of months, and it's such a delight. So.
Sorry. No, all I can think of is there's this book that we've read to Rami where it's like the story of the big bad wolf told from the wolf's perspective, where he's like, all this stuff is like trumped up. It's like, I was going to get a cup of sugar, but like there's a part where he goes to the last pig because he's like, oh, I was going door to door to try and get some sugar for my granny's cake that I was making her. And he's like, and you know what the rude little porker said? He said your granny can sit on a pin. He's like, normally I'm a nice guy, but I get really mad when someone talks about my granny that way.
Yeah, that is funny.
Yeah. Silly. Anyway, that's it. My name is Evan Crean. I'm co-chair of the Boston Online Film Critics Association, co-author of Your 80s Movie Guide to Better Living, and co-host of the It's a Pictures podcast. You can follow me on social media as Real Recon, and that's real as in film real.
And my name is Dave Riedel. I'm a member of the Boston Online Film Critics Association. And if you want to follow me on social media and whatever, I'm Dave Sees Movies everywhere except on Blue Sky, where I'm David Riedel, and on Twitter, where I'm X Can Suck a Dick.
Great handle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Suck DIK.
Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.